All right, let's get right into it. We are about to unlock one of the most powerful and frankly coolest tools in the English language. It's a way to talk about facts, possibilities, wild dreams, and even regrets. I like to call it the what-if time machine.
I mean, think about it. Have you ever wished you could just peek into the future to see how things might turn out or, rewind the past and imagine a totally different path? It sounds like something straight out of a movie, but what if I told you that you already have this power?
Yep, that's right. It's built directly into the grammar. These special sentences, which we call conditionals, are what let us explore all these different realities: what is, what could be, what we really wish for, and what might have been. They are literally our own personal linguistic time machine.
So let's get this machine warmed up and ready to go. We're going to break down exactly how it works, piece by piece, starting with the absolute basics of what a conditional sentence even is.
At their very core, conditionals are all about cause and effect. Just think of them as if this happens, then that happens sentences. The first part, the if part, sets up the condition. And the second part, well, that tells you the result. Sounds simple, right? But the real magic is in how we talk about that relationship.
Our first stop on this journey is the zero conditional. This is our home base, our anchor in solid reality. We use this setting on our time machine to talk about things that are just always true. We're talking scientific facts, general truths, and unbreakable rules. There's no guesswork here, just the facts.
And check out the structure. It couldn't be simpler. You see that symmetry? We use the simple present tense in the if part and the simple present tense in the result part. Present plus present. It's a straight-up formula for certainty.
And here is a perfect example. This isn't just a possibility, it's a law of physics. When the condition is met, water boiling, the result is 100% guaranteed. It evaporates. This is the zero conditional in its purest form, just stating a universal truth.
Okay, time to adjust the dial on our machine. We're now shifting from those absolute certainties to real, very likely possibilities in the future. The first conditional is all about our plans, our predictions, promises, maybe even warnings. It's about what might actually happen.
Now the structure changes, but just a little bit, and that small change makes all the difference. We still start with the simple present tense in the if clause, but look at the result. It jumps into the future using a word like will or can. That's our big signal that we're talking about a probable future outcome.
This is such a classic example of advice or a promise based on a super likely outcome. The condition is if you work hard. Now, is success guaranteed, like water boiling? Well, not 100%. But is it a very real, very possible result? Absolutely. This is the grammar of real possibility.
And now we're going to take a big leap. Let's fire up the hypothetical drive. The second conditional is our setting for pure imagination. We use this for dreams, wishes, and all those unlikely scenarios that we're just picturing in our minds for the present or the future. This is where we talk about a reality that isn't quite ours.
Okay, notice the huge shift here. We're using the simple past tense in the if clause. Now this is a little weird, I know, because we're not actually talking about the past. We're using the past tense as a kind of secret code to signal that the situation is unreal or imaginary right now. The result then uses a word like would or could.
Come on, who hasn't had this exact thought? If I won, see, it uses the past tense of win because, let's be real, I don't have $1 million sitting in my bank account right now. It's a hypothetical situation. And the result, I would travel, is the imaginary consequence of that unreal condition. This is the language of daydreams. All right, for our final journey, we're dialing the time machine all the way back into the past. But here's the catch. The third conditional is used to look at a past that didn't happen. It's all about imagining a different outcome for something that's already done and dusted. This is often the language of regret.
The grammar here, you'll notice, gets a bit more complex, and that's because the idea itself is more complex. We use the past perfect tense, that's had plus the verb's third form, to set up a condition in the past that did not actually happen. The result then uses would have to describe the imaginary past result that never was.
This is such a powerful and, a very human use of the third conditional. The reality is, I didn't work harder and I didn't get that other job. This sentence creates a whole alternate past, a what-if scenario where things turned out differently. And it's so powerful because that door to the past is closed. All we can do is look back and wonder. So this brings us to a really important distinction, the difference between dreaming about the future and reflecting on the past. The second conditional, if I were you, that's about an unreal present. But the third conditional, if I had been there, that's about an impossible past. The grammar is different because the timeline we're playing with is totally different.
So, there you have it, your complete what-if toolkit. 4 different settings on our time machine. You've got 0 for what's always true, first for what could really be, second for what we imagine, and third for what might have been. Each one unlocks a completely different way to talk about and see the world.
So I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. Are you living in the certainty of the 0, the possibility of the first, the daydream of the second, or maybe reflecting on the past with the third? Your answer, I think, says a whole lot about where you are right now and maybe where you're headed next.